My apologies that the last recording was kind of hush-hush. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning with insomnia and couldn't fall back asleep, but I had to record quietly because everyone else in the house for some reason is asleep and not talking about maps. But now I have a cup of coffee. I'm a little more awake. So let's do this. We created these lines in the last lab. I zoomed in a little bit more to make this map larger scale on Syria so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better, and also so that the lines aren't ridiculously large. So, how can we make these lines a little better? Well, there are a variety of different tricks we can use. And basically, let's start doing that right now. So I'm going to go back to my mapped area, make sure all the layers are locked except for my refugee flows. And I'm going to select a few of these. Now, this is okay. It's kind of nice. It's not the best thing I've ever seen. But sometimes you'll see in flow maps this really neat trick where basically two flows diverge and one breaks off and the other one becomes thinner. And that'd be pretty cool. That'd be a neat trick to do here. So why don't we do that actually with the with this one here. So I forget what the value is of this, but it's to Jordan. So it's a thickness of 41 and Egypt's value is 7. So what I want to do is I want to combine Egypt's flow with the flow of Jordan. And the first thing I have to do basically is just move this out of the way. So this flow is going to start as not 41 but 48 because it will be Jordan's value plus Egypt's value. So let's click that up to 48. And I'm going to play with the swoop a little bit here. Move it like this. Whoops, I don't know what I just did. Oh, I do. Never mind. Have no fear. There we go. We got the swoop going up here. Drag this handle a bit. There we go. So this is 48. When it gets to Jordan, it needs to be 41. So we're going to have to do some little shenanigans here. So we're going to select this thick arrow, and we're going to actually get rid of the arrowhead. So we'll click here again, go up to none, and we're going to, oops, we are going to, if we hit the minus key, we can get rid of a node. We're going to shrink this down to here, and it's 48 thickness. Now, we are now going to take this line, which is 47 thickness, and just kind of plop it here. And there. And we're going to draw a new line with the pen tool, which will be monstrous. A 41er. Okay, so we've got these different lines here. This one has an arrowhead on it already. Not really digging how robotic this one's looking, so we're going to tweak this just a tad. And this one we're going to add an arrowhead to. You may recall, choose the same arrowhead. I think it was this one. 15%. Okay. So we've got these. We have the base, which is 48, 41 to Jordan, 7 to Egypt. Now let's go here. There's a really neat tool. These are strokes. They don't have fills. But there's a cool tool where we can actually tweak this. So if I select this line here and I go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, it will make it a polygon, a shape. And now when it's a polygon, it's a little more limited in some ways, but what it'll allow us to do you'll see in a second. This one isn't so important. Let's select this one, Object, Path, Outline, Stroke. And so now we've got kind of a neat two pieces here. We have the arrowhead and the curve, if you will. But what we can do is kind of move this curve here. And if we click on the node here, we can basically drag this here. Try to make that look curvy. And then let's go here, let's outline this stroke. course, you could do all of these at once, but I just wanted to show you how this might work. We can go like that. We can, if you're using the direct select tool, right now if I use the regular selection tool and click on the arrowhead, both parts are highlighted because they're grouped. I can either double click into the group and drag this over a tad, or I could use the white direct select tool, arrow tool. Alright, good. Notice that when I moved my Egypt, my arrowhead got a little bit wonky here. So let's select this, double click into it. Let's drag our arrowhead up. Alright. So now we have a bunch of different parts, but that's okay, but it's kind of confusing. So let's select the Egypt, the Jordan, and the stump. And there's a really great tool down here called it's under Pathfinder. And these are basically like geoprocessing tools in ArcGIS. So you can unite anything that's selected right now will be united into one shape. You can punch out and stuff. We're going to hit unite, and voila, we now have this cool arrow shape that goes from 48 to 47 to 41 and 7. And once it is a shape, it doesn't mean we can't manipulate it anymore. Certainly we can. We can go in with the direct select tool, and we could even do really funky things with this if we wanted to. So that's one way of getting these diverging lines that kind of merge and unmerge, and it's really not that hard. You just draw, and then it does the hard stuff for you by outlining the shape. Okay, so the next thing to do is to style this a little bit more. And now that it's a shape, we can do a bunch of cool things to it. So the first thing I want to do is not that. Okay. Is unlock my layer, I guess. Yeah, that helps. And let's select our kind of new cool shape. And let's give this an outline just to see what happens. I'm going to give it a white outline just to see if that helps it pop out a little. It does, but of course the white outlines kind of mix with the background ones. So let's give it a black outline and see how that does. Oh yeah, that makes it definitely sets it apart. All right, so we've got that. Let's go over to the Appearance tab. Sorry if you just heard me slurp coffee, but I needed it. So when we have any object selected, and we click on the Appearance tab, and I highly recommend you just start using the Appearance tab instead of these other features to tweak stuff. Basically, everything about a feature that you have selected, you can manipulate in the Appearance tab. It's the little sun thing there. So we have a stroke, we've got this fill, we have opacity. We can change the opacity if we like. But let's add something else. What else can we add to this? Probably a little drop shadow to give it depth. Let's go to stylize. We have drop shadow, inner glow, outer glow. Outer glow might be kind of fun too, but well, let's try outer glow and just see what it looks like. So if we hit preview, doesn't look like much. There we go. So it's kind of got this black outer glow. Let's try red and see what that would look like. It's not doing it for me, so let's hit cancel. Go back to effects. You have a bunch of Photoshop effects in here too, but be careful with those. I believe they tend to rasterize what you're working on. So let's do this. Let's go to drop shadow. And let's hit preview. Can't really see the color white here. Let's go for a more menacing look. Alright, there we go. We've got a nice little gray. It's very subtle, but that's actually good. We don't need it to be too dominant. So we can color burn, color dodge. All of these are different options for your drop shadow. I'm not really seeing much happening here, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's see if we see any purple pop up. Oh, I see a tinge of purple. You might not see it on Camtasia. Let's get rid of the blur a bit. Now we're starting to see it. Alright, there we go. There, make it a little more menacing. And actually, let's go for a red. Not pink, though. Pink doesn't give us the right vibe. Well, it's kind of a fuchsia. All right, so there we go. We've got a little drop shadow. I'll hit OK. Hit Control 0, zoom out, and you can kind of see the trail of blood. Doesn't look the best, but this is just a demo. You'd want to play with this a lot more. The reason you want to use the Appearance tab is if you find something that works for this shape and you want to be able to quickly apply it to your other arrows, the Appearance tab is the place for you. So once you've set up the appearance in here and you've added some effects and whatnot, what you can do is with it highlighted, click on normally it's right beneath the appearance icon, but if not, it's called Graphic Styles, and go up here and hit New Graphic Style, Flow Arrow. And what this does is it copies everything that's in the appearance here, the outline and the outline thickness, the coloration, and as well as the drop shadow, or at least it should. And then if we select another object, this is still a stroke, so I need to turn this into, that was interesting, turn this into a shape. Have no fear, we'll just rotate it. I have a little fear, I don't know what's going on there, but a little fear is good. Okay, that's just, okay. There, okay. So we've got this shape now, and we need to, of course, merge it. As you may recall, that is here under Pathfinder, Unite, yada yada. Now we have this object selected. We can go to our graphic styles. We can click on the style that we want, and notice it instantly gives it a black outline and the same drop shadow. So once you find a style you like, you can select all of your lines and apply that style, and it will outline them and give them drop shadows and the same fill colors. So use Pathfinder and Stylize from now on, because it'll save you a lot of time, particularly if, let's say you're designing a choropleth map and you want to change a few, like one classification of the whole scheme. You can just highlight them and click on the style, and it'll change them all at once. So anyway, this is a very brief demo. Let's see my checklist here. Using appearance panel. Yep, we're done. So it's 6:30. I have to wake up my kids. And for those of you in my class, I'll see you in an hour and a half, and I'll probably be half asleep. But this was a quick demo on how to create a flow map. Have fun. Thanks.